Hi, my name's Prue and today I'd like to talk about how much time students should be actually spending on schoolwork. Now, usually the school diary will have some guidelines. So the first thing to do is to check your school's policy. Do they have any guidelines? It might be a certain amount per subject. It might be a certain amount per year level. So that's the first thing. You also need to talk to your parents because some parents will want you to do extra work. Some parents are happy for you to stick to the school guidelines. So you need to sort of find a happy balance between what the school wants and what your parents actually expect. Now, don't forget we've talked about before the whole concept that you don't just do homework in high school. You don't just do the assignments. That what you do is two types of work. There's the compulsory work that you have to do, and then when you don't have schoolwork, the nights you don't, you're expected to do some independent learning. Going back over things you found difficult, reading in the textbook, going over areas that you found particularly challenging or that you found interesting, you'd like to research more, making study notes, all of those types of things. But obviously we want you to have a life. We don't want you just to be doing schoolwork constantly. So because of that, we need to talk about how much time should you spend on schoolwork. Now, in terms of junior students, usually most schools say at least half an hour to an hour a day. Some schools will say an hour to an hour and a half for year 7 and 8 students. For the middle years, so around about year 9 and 10, that would be at least an hour in most schools, with some schools saying sometimes up to an hour and a half or 2 hours a night. Now, often rather than saying per night, we say per week. So, for example, that would be 10 to 14 hours per week. Now, in the senior years, well, you're going to be doing at least an hour and a half a day, but most likely around 2 hours at the start of year 11. That will gradually build. By the time you get to the end of year 11, you're probably up around 3 hours of schoolwork a night. And then by the time you get to year 12, it'll definitely be 3, maybe some students even get up to about 4 hours of schoolwork a night. So in terms of what you do with your activities, your weekend, your free time, it depends on you. You need to decide what's the right amount of schoolwork for you that keeps your parents happy, keeps the school happy, that allows you to get the best marks you can. Then you need to look at your life and say, look, I want to keep as much of my life as possible. So what can I do? What can't I do? And how can I fit everything in? So how much time you have off on the weekend or over the week will all depend on what you do. Now, the reason the camera just jumped everywhere is because my cat just jumped up the top of the pole and knocked the camera everywhere. And of course, pets can be an incredible time waster when we're talking about time management. So the key thing to do is to decide what you're going to do, how much time you're going to do it, and then once you've made those decisions, you fit your life in and you fit the schoolwork in around that. So I hope that's helpful and it's got you thinking about what you can do. First call, of course, is always to check with whether the school has an actual policy.